have a question for you, that is judiciary corrupt in India? Well, we cannot give you an exact answer, but Lokpal thinks so. Hello and welcome to the InNews series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today's session is about Lokpal versus judges and what Supreme Court had to say into this matter. And this session is important for your GAS 2 perspective. So moving towards the points of discussion part. So first of all, we are going to discuss the news, then we are going to discuss about the legal argument and judicial concerns, and then we are going to discuss about the Lokpal's justification for jurisdiction, contradictory stand on Supreme Court judges and Supreme Court's response, and then we are going to discuss about practice question for prelims. Before that, you have to like, share and subscribe to this TIAS channel. Moving towards to the news part. So the news is that recently a matter reached to the Supreme Court and the matter was related to the Lokpal versus High Court judges. And according to the Lokpal, that High Court judges are corrupt because there was a case that a High Court judge has influenced the decision of the District Court judge and later the High Court judge. So Lokpal wanted to have check and balances over the High Court judges. So this was the case and this is the news which we are going to discuss in today's session. Now comes to the question that what is Lokpal? So Lokpal is a statutory body and it is also anti-corruption body in India, and you must remember Anna Hazare movement, and Lokpal is a product of the Anna Hazare movement which checks and balances over the authorities which is government in nature. So this is about which is governmental authorities, and if there will be any corrupt activities which are happening, so Lokpal checks it and report to the CBI also. So this is the basic definition of the Lokpal, and we had already discussed that what is the news related to the Lokpal and High Court judges. Now what Supreme Court has to say regarding this particular thing. Before that, we have to find out Drishti IAS Noida. So as you already know that Drishti IAS also is in Noida and our Noida address is C171/2 Block A Sector 15 Noida, and nearest metro station is Noida Sector 15. And we have ISGS Foundation available in both the mediums, Hindi medium and English medium. So do check all the classes of ISGS Foundation course, and if you want to know more information related to the Drishti IAS and the classes, you can call on to the number 87501-87501. Coming to the discussion part. So the discussion is about the Lokpal's justification for jurisdiction. So currently Lokpal is chaired by the former Supreme Court Judge Justice 𝐸𝐻𝐻 Khanwilkar, and Justice 𝐸𝐻𝐻 Khanwilkar had argued that high courts were not directly established by the constitution but were rather products of the British Parliament's acts such as Indian High Court Act 1861, Government of India Act 1935, latest patent of the British monarch. So as high courts are not established by the constitution and it has a British legacy, so that's why we do have authority over the High Court judges. So this argument has been given by the Lokpal. So thus, according to the Lokpal, High Court judges fell within section 14(1)(f) of the 2013 Act, which grants jurisdiction over individuals serving in institutions created by an Act of Parliament. So this justification has been given by the Lokpal that High Court is made by the law, so that's why we want to have jurisdiction over the High Court judges. Now here comes to the question that what is the contradictory stand of Supreme Court judges regarding this thing. So we do have some controversy and contradictory things related to the jurisdiction over the High Court judges, and we'll look out few cases that interestingly just weeks before this order, the Lokpal had ruled on January 3rd that it had no jurisdiction over Supreme Court judges, including the Chief Justice of India. It reasoned that Supreme Court was created directly by the Article 124 of the Constitution and therefore it did not qualify as an entity established by an Act of Parliament. However, in January 27 order, the Lokpal found the argument that High Court judges were exempt to name, arguing that 2013 Act does not explicitly exclude them. So here comes to the question that Lokpal believes that Supreme Court is established by the Constitution, and we do have articles related to the establishment of the Supreme Court. So that's why we cannot have jurisdiction over the Supreme Court, including the Chief Justice of India. But it would be very unfair to say that High Court judges are also applicable and qualify for the same. Now it comes to the question that what the Supreme Court responds to this particular thing. So this matter has reached to the Supreme Court, and judges had said that this is very disturbing. Also, judges had opined that high courts are established under the Constitution after the implementation of the Constitution. So we cannot say that Lokpal has jurisdiction over the High Court. Whether in today's circumstances this matter is into the court, so we do not know that what would be the exact argument of the Supreme Court, but this particular situation has been marked by very disturbing by the Supreme Court, and there was a hearing on March 18, and on that day we will get to know that whether the High Court have jurisdiction over the whether Lokpal has jurisdiction over the High Court or not. Now coming to the question that whether the High Court has a constitutional legacy or not. So it is true that High Court has a constitutional legacy, and there are many acts, rules and regulations, and there are many provisions which has a colonial legacy, but that does not mean that the things which have a colonial legacy are unconstitutional in nature. After the commencement of the Constitution of India, many things have been made constitutional. So here you have to examine that whether the authority and overall the office and subject of the High Court is constitutional in nature or not. So now we are going to discuss the practice question for prelims. Before that, we have PYQ series for you. We had already started PYQ series by 15th of February. So do check all the episode of the PYQ for your prelims examination. Now we are going to discuss the practice question for prelims. The Supreme Court stay on the Lokpal order is primarily based on which of the following concerns? It could undermine the independence of the judiciary. The Lokpal is not a constitutional body. The Chief Justice of India must approve any investigation against a judge. The Supreme Court has exclusive jurisdiction over corruption cases involving judges. So here comes to the question that are judiciary corrupt or not? So we can, as I have already told you, that we do not have any exact answer for this. But if judiciary is corrupt also, then who are the authorities to check over the judiciary? Is it Lokpal? Is it CBI, or is it the Supreme Court, or is it any other organization? So this is a matter of debate. Also, when this matter came to the court, the Supreme Court opined that this is what you can say particular infringement to the privacy and overall jurisdiction over the judiciary, and it harms the independence of the judiciary. So this is also one of the case, because in India judiciary is independent. So if there will be a jurisdiction over the High Court judges by Lokpal, might be there are chances that it can harm the independence of judiciary. So that's it for today's session. I hope you like this session. If you have any queries related to this session, kindly ask into the comment section. Thank you. Have a nice day.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.